Hello everyone, I'm Simon and today I'm gonna talk about the presence from the DC Comics. Okay, many people try to say that he's omnipotent or that he really is the strongest within DC, but this couldn't be further from the truth. And today, again, I'm gonna use some of my informations that I've found reading the comics, unlike those who really claims that the presence must be omnipotent and the strongest in DC. So let's start. Some people really try to say that in Lucifer 2016 we saw wholly an avatar of the presence, but literally the angels, Gabriel, Matron, and even Raphael confirmed that the presence was dead. In the issue 9, the corrupted presence turned, and in the issue 10, we discovered that it was the presence. In fact, Gabriel stabbed him, confirmed, and killed him. Let's go now over Elaine Belloc. Elaine Belloc is capable of hiding things from the presence, and it wouldn't be a good idea for the corrupted presence to force the hand of Elaine. And he would have done what she wanted, since otherwise it wouldn't have been a good idea for the presence. Many people try to say that Lucifer and the Ether claimed that it wasn't the presence, even while I already showed these scans which confirms that it was the presence. And no, Ether statements doesn't apply if those aren't current with the story. So don't try to use Ether statements, because if they're not current, then I don't care. Now, the Great Evil Beast is an avatar of Lucifer. And yes, the Great Evil Beast is on par with the presence. In fact, Constantine in the same comics will claim that it was in fact a draw. And 26 issues later, in the same Swamp Thing story, we saw that they're still fighting. Now, even if we eventually listen to Lucifer, Lucifer clearly said that this beast has stolen the powers of the presence and is stolen the power of Lucifer as well, which, as I proved, is way beyond the presence. So I don't care, since really you can't argue that the presence is omnipotent if already he was defeated, and in the same comic, the same one who defeated him, if we don't listen at authors, if we don't listen at other statements and evidence from the story, the same beast will always remove the powers from Lucifer, which, as I proved, is way beyond the presence. Now, I know that many people really knows 6th dimensional event, which will put basically Perpetua, the Source, etc. above Hecate. But seriously, I've seen some stupid arguments trying to say that the presence isn't above, the presence isn't below Hecate or the collective unconscious. Basically, Hecate is the collective unconscious, as even Ceres, while she was merged with Hecate's power, was one with the collective unconscious. During the same story, Eclipso was created to restrain... During the same story, Eclipso was stated to be able to reduce the powers of Hecate, and Wonder Woman at the time had only 3/5 of Hecate's power, and then 4/5, but she was stated to be above the presence, basically. I've seen some arguments trying to say that the voice is only an aspect of the presence, which, yes, okay, I was wrong about that. Yes, the voice is an aspect, but seriously, if you want to use that argument, at least provide scans. Leo Funky. In fact, some people try to claim that Hecate only scales to the voice of God, which yes, okay, should be fine, but there is too much evidence, which I will provide later. Let's go ahead. Hecate has even been called the original creator. Now we have the Upside Down Man, who is literally the opposite and equal of Hecate. During the Justice League Dark 2018 story, the other kind, which are a portion of the true Great Darkness, are coming, and Constantine, who was there to fight the Great Evil Beast when the Great Evil Beast comes, stated that this threat was way beyond the Great Evil Beast. And in fact, the presence in the same story will ally with Hell to fight the other kind. So I don't see why the presence should be above Hecate, the other kind, and the Upside Down Man. Now we have Mordru. Mordru have literally tortured Hecate, forcing her to give up her powers to the Lords of Order and Chaos. When Zatanna said that Mordru must fear the other kind, he said that they must fear him. Wonder Woman at one point asked Mordru why he didn't kill them for them, why didn't kill the other kind for them, and he simply said that he don't want to. From these statements, I'm pretty much sure that surely Mordru is way above the presence. Now we have Pralaya. I've seen some arguments using the Twitter statements of the Metes, but the Metes himself says that it doesn't matter whatever he says because it is only his view, and our answer is as valid as is. So basically, if the Metes says that Pralaya is a part of the presence, I can say that she isn't, and my answer is as valid as the Metes one. So don't use Twitter statements from the Metes, even because, seriously, Twitter statements without context or against the comics means really nothing. So stop using the Twitter statements, because, as I proved, the Twitter statements doesn't help. Turning on Pralaya, Pralaya stated that she is the sleep into which all things, even the presence, must inevitably fall. She also implies that the dreaming, and by extension Hecate, has been born inside of her several times, calling eventually erasure by her hands, only a dreamless sleep. During Justice League Dark 2018, we discovered that the dreaming, that the collective unconscious is only a part of the dreaming. And she wasn't through Pralaya. As you can see, she even said that it isn't her true form and that it is only a projection of her. Now we have Milkman Man. Basically, he's the strongest version of Superman, and he was created in Final to eventually defeat the of the enemies of the Redcon corporations, and in fact he has done that. And the Redcon corps, as you can see here, have weapons to erase the wall Overvoid. Not only that, but during Doom Patrol, to arrive in Final Heaven, you must go through the Overvoid. You must literally break it to arrive in Final Heaven in the Ratcon Corporation. And count this, the story of Superman, which the top actually is Milkman Man, is beyond the capabilities of the Redcon Corporation, as the Redcon Corporation can't touch the story of Superman, since it seems like it is a direct son of Al, god of the superheroes. In fact, Al, god of superheroes, is like omnipotent in comparison to the Redcon Corporation. And as I said, every story comes from him. And we have Exelon, who basically defeated Hal, the god of the superheroes, without any problem. Now we have Empty Hand and Euonymus. Basically, Empty Hand is the reader, so I don't see how the presence must defeat the reader while he can't even defeat a character who isn't even metafictional. If he was metafictional, at least you could have argued, but seriously, the sword of creation which Gabriel and Lucifer used to defeat the presence wasn't metafictional. The Euonymus basically view Final Heaven as fiction, and if they want, they could end everything, including the Overvoid and Final Heaven. Now I want to talk about the sixth dimensional beings and Eclipso. Basically, the sixth dimensional beings were created within the Overvoid. This because Perpetua was able to tear pieces from the Overvoid. So basically, they were created from it, as well as the sixth dimension. In fact, the sixth dimension is called the Overvoid in Flash. Eclipso basically was able to negate Hecate's powers, and basically he restrained 4/5 of Hecate's powers along with a fraction of Mordru's powers. So clearly Eclipso is way beyond the presence, no doubt about it. We have Barbatos. Basically, Barbatos was able to defeat the World Forger and eventually kill him. For those who don't know, I will address the fact of why they're so above the presence. Now we have the Ultra Monitor. The Ultra Monitor is the fusion of the World Forger, the Monitor, and the Anti-Monitor. They've basically faced Perpetua before she regained her full power. Perpetua, with her full power, was able to basically regain the seven forces of creation, which include the collective unconscious, which yes, the presence, or at least the avatar, as I will explain this later. Basically, the collective unconscious is above the presence, and for this I've uttered proof as well. Give me a second. So basically, during Swamp Thing Volume 2, Swamp Thing merged with the final parliament, and he basically killed and resurrected God because he merged with the parliament. I mean, he merged with the collective unconscious, but before this, he was able to transcend every angel. These include Michael and Lucifer, and as I proved, Lucifer is way beyond the presence. The Decreator from the Doom Patrol is basically another opposite of the Presence. He can basically undo him and everything he made, but the Doom Patrol was eventually able to stop him, so they can eventually do the same with the Presence. So I don't see how the Presence should win here. Other proof for the collective unconscious being above the Presence, Uncle Sam will eventually claim that it's the collective will of the people that makes God. As I said, Perpetua is way beyond the collective unconscious. And we have the Great Darkness. If you remember the Other Kind and the Upside Down Man, they're only little aspects of the true Great Darkness. Plus now we have Dr. Manhattan, the Batman Who Laughs, and Golden Wonder Woman. Basically, Dr. Manhattan will match Perpetua. I mean, the Batman Who Laughs was able with Manhattan's power to match Perpetua and to disturb her powers. The Batman Who Laughs will eventually defeat her a few issues later without any problem. And the Golden Wonder Woman will face in the final issue of Dark Knight's Death Metal the same Darkest Night. Then she will be upgraded to an higher level of existence in Infinity Frontier issue 0. She basically was judged by the Source, and so basically she will be upgraded to an higher level of existence. Now we have the true Source or the true Presence. Yeah, I know that many people don't think about this, but seriously, there's too much evidence to say that even basically the collective unconscious is way beyond the normal Presence. And to confirm the existence of a true Presence, true Source, the collective unconscious is below the Source, as it was stated during the 6th dimensional event. And basically, Sinar will confirm that there's a true presence, so I don't see why there shouldn't be. Now we have Pralaya. Yes, Pralaya is basically the darkness which came before creation and before the presence. It was stated that she existed since before the creator, which in the Justice League Dark was the presence, basically. Now we have the Overvoid. Yes, you can argue that Pralaya is the Overvoid, but I don't see why they should be the same. So basically, the source exists within the Overvoid. I don't see how the source or the true presence should be able to do anything to the Overvoid. And no, it isn't a part of the presence. The misinterpretation from Grant Morrison interview, it only says that the white canvas of the comics is God. He never claimed that it is the presence. I mean, many people has been called gods during time in DC, like for example Darkseid, or even Batman when he sat on the Mobius chair. So I don't see why he should be the presence or a part of him. Seriously, stop misinterpret this. Now we, as I said, the Retcon Corporation exists way beyond the Overvoid, and they're responsible for the narratives within DC, including the Overvoid. So basically, they can erase the presence if they want. It doesn't mean anything for the presence. Seriously, the presence won't survive against the Overvoid, let alone the Retcon Corporation, or the story of Superman, which was even matched by the Overvoid, and the Overvoid really can't hold a candle to him, so he created a weaker part of it, so he stole a part of it, a weak part of it, creating with divine metals cosmic armor Superman. Otherwise, he was defenseless against the story of Superman. I already talked about Hell and Euonymus and Empty End. Now, a few final characters. The Leviathan of the story. So, yes, the Leviathan of the story is basically the one who should embody all of DC and Vertigo. This because he embodies the whole hierarchy of words and is way beyond it. This because the endless hierarchy of words exists within even the weakest of the fry of the Leviathans. So basically, and every Leviathan, every fry, and every whale is only a dream to the Leviathan, since the Leviathan is the strongest in his race. And yes, the hierarchy include the canvas or the overvoid, and it is within the second or the third layer of the hierarchy. And the hierarchy have basically no limit. It haven't any top or any bottom. So basically, the Leviathan is embody even the overvoid, or better, even a fry whale, a fry of the whale of the Leviathan is way beyond the overvoid. And in Unwritten, Gilgamesh was capable of killing the Leviathan, but this because the Leviathan believed that he can't defeat Gilgamesh. Otherwise, probably the Leviathan would have won. Uh, I'm done with the video. Hope these misinformations about the presence got covered. So if you disagree, you can come in the Discord server, talk with me and with other people who really read comics. And don't forget to subscribe, share and like. Thanks for watching. I'm done. See you next time.